Hey guys, how's it going? My name is James Wilkerson, and I wanted to share how I flew around the world for less than $1,000. Um, for you people that are interested in traveling and you want to see more of the world, or whatever reasons you have to want to travel. Um, so first off, I'll just tell you how I did it. Was I couldn't have done it without a website called Skyscanner. I'm not a shill for Skyscanner. If Skyscanner wants to give me some money, please do. Um, but it's not that simple either. What so this started a long time ago. This Parisian guy I knew. I said something to the effects of, this is 15 years ago as well. I said I wanted to go to Paris, and he's like, "Why would you want to go to Paris?" He's like, "Don't even bother." He's like, "Go to Prague. It's the most beautiful city in Europe." And somehow that stuck with me. Last 15 years, it's just stuck in my head. This guy that was born and raised in Paris said, "Don't bother going to Paris." Um, so he planted that that seed years ago. So I was really like hemming and hawing about this trip. I was like, well, I can't do it. It's winter time. I'm working right now. Blah blah blah. It's just like my brain is just going, giving me all these reasons not to go. you know, I finally realized like that's what it was. It's some kind of natural human predisposition to like a safety factor or something. So I just somehow shook all that off me and just said, the heck with that kind of thinking. I'm gonna just go. I don't care what happens to me. um, I don't care if I'm gonna end up homeless or broke, or I'm gonna lose my apartment or my job, or all that stuff. Life is too short to think like that. And I shook that off and I ran for my life. But so I mean, obviously the first place anybody starts is we start on like we Google search, how much is a ticket to where we want to go. And in my case, I think I was in that a little bit less than $500 or something for a one-way ticket, in the $1,200 range for kind of a relatively, I think I had a 30-day window I wanted to leave in. And I was like, that's not cool. I don't want to spend, $1,000 or whatever, $1,200 to like beeline to Prague and then sit there and then beeline back. So it's just like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe a one way ticket's cheaper. What if I I was thinking like, what if I go to Prague, or what if I just get to Europe? Can I get to Europe and then take a train to Prague? Can I can I leave through another port on my way back when I come back to San Francisco? Um, so what I ended up doing was I looked at one of the tickets. Uh, you have layovers on flights sometimes, especially on some of the less expensive flights. They'll route you through different places. So I found one of the. You see, Skyscanner gives you the ability to like you can just enter your airport, and I'm fortunate because I live in a relatively metropolitan area. Like if you live in Chicago, New York, maybe Atlanta is probably a good one. Um, Los Angeles, even Las Vegas. It's shocking. They have some direct flights out of McCarran in Las Vegas. They have direct flights to Europe out of now out of McCarran in Las Vegas, which is cool. Um, it might cost you a little more if you're in Middle America or if you're in another country. Like if you're in a rural part of Russia, or if you're maybe in rural parts of Africa or something like that. It's going to cost you a lot more money. And I have a friend who commented to me on Facebook, like, man, he was in Australia, and he's like, man, it. I feel bad for him because it's really expensive to get out of Australia. I think that's why they call it the land down under. You're way down there, and to get up here, or into the northern hemisphere is a pain in the butt. Europe, you guys have it great because I can't believe how cheap the flights are in Europe. You can fly. I saw flights from like Vilnius, Lithuania to like Stockholm for I think one was like $15 or something. I was shocked. I didn't want to go to Stockholm or Oslo, so I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I've been to Scandinavia, I've been to Sweden before, so I didn't feel like going back. It's expensive, and I, I love Sweden too, but I just wasn't feeling it. I've already been there. I wanted to go to places where everybody doesn't speak English, and in Sweden, they speak better English than me. Watch a Swedish guy on YouTube making a video. He speaks better English than I do, and I was born here. So anyway, to move on, what I did was I found like one of the connections to one of these flights was in Reykjavik in Iceland, and I I don't know how I just like, well, what if I just fly to Iceland? So what Skyscanner lets you do is they let you input your origin airport, where you're leaving from. And you can leave everything else blank, right? And just hit search. A lot of search engines won't let you do that. So they just tell you, okay, well, this flight, it's leaving out of LAX or San Francisco or JFK or whatever, and it's so this is the cheapest flight, right? So San Francisco, the cheapest flight is like usually $40 or something. I know you Europeans are probably shocked, right? To fly, from like San Francisco to Las Vegas is one of the cheapest flights, but usually like places like Colorado, it's you're in that a one-way flight's like $40-50 range, where in Europe you can fly $50, you can get a lot further than you can here. So first it lists places in the United States. It'll just tell you like a list of from priced from lowest to highest, and then it just keeps scrolling down that list, and it says okay. And then the next country for us, or me particularly, because I'm in San Francisco, California, would be either Canada or Mexico. And then you click on that country, and it'll say like, oh, Mexico from $105 or something. And you click on that, and then there's a drop down menu, and then it shows all the cities, which the top city is being that cheapest city. Well, who knows if you want to go to that city? I don't know. But what I did was I just kept going down the list until it's weird because it's most of the time for me in San Francisco, it'll be, and this is in my area, it's might be different for you. It will be Mexico, either Mexico or Canada will be the first two countries, obviously, that are going to be cheapest. But the third one is always, in 90% of the time I've seen that the third one is always, if it's not a Central or South American country, it's usually Iceland. So for me, that's like halfway to Europe. If I can get to Reykjavik, I can get, man, that's most of it. It's like a 9-hour flight, or I think it might have been 8. So the deal is Wow Air is flying into Reykjavik right now. Those are those cheap flights. I paid $99 to get, I don't know how many thousands of miles, 4,000 or 5,000 miles, and but the deal is I paid $99 for that flight, and then I got another flight out of Reykjavik into Vilnius, Lithuania. So I'm in I'm in a Baltic country. I'm in Eastern Europe for, I think that one was $73 or $74. So for like $171, I was in Eastern Europe, which I thought, hey, $170, I could blow that playing poker or like on a date, So I was stoked to be in Vilnius. But that's just the beginning of the story. One of the other things is I'm going to say this to the girls out there: don't pack anything. So I'm going to say, imagine you're my girlfriend. Don't bring anything. Like if you tell a girl don't bring anything, she'll probably bring enough to not get charged for their baggage fees. Wow Air has, and a lot of these these cheap airlines I flew with, man, if you look at them funny, it costs $10. If you want to bring a bag, it's $20. If you want to bring like the normal American carry-on bag that goes, with the little wheels, that goes in the overhead compartment, that could be $60-70. So you have to really read their policies on baggage, and just pack light. So what I did was I'm going to Europe in the middle of the winter, so I did I basically wore all my clothes. I had this big, massive down puffy jacket I wore. I looked like a psychopath walking to the train station to get to SFO. And I had this backpack. I don't know if you can see it, but this is what I took around the world, you know. And it's actually still packed from a trip I just got home. But this backpack, a puffy jacket, you know, I had my little iPad is all I took. Had these Bose headphones, which these I'll do another video on or something, you know. These things are freaking amazing. I bought them. I was just going to return them. You know, I just wanted to use them for a couple days for a certain thing and return them, and I can't. They're just awesome. So, you know, glad I had these. I watch movies on the plane. You could download you can download movies now on Amazon. I wish I have to make this video longer because I can't tell you everything about the trip. So anyway, I want to deliver. You know, how did I get around the world for $1,000? So okay, so I'm in Vilnius. Actually, I take a bus down to. I went to Belarus. That's a whole nother video. If love Belarus, those people are, you know, right here. Love you guys. Hung out in Belarus. Went back to for a few days in Belarus and Minsk. Went back to Lithuania. Flew to Cyprus. That's another video, man. Cyprus. That ticket was like $30 or $40 or something. It was ridiculous. Flew. So from Cyprus, I go to down there for a few days for my 40th birthday. That was very nice. Then I go to. So what am I up to? I'm up to like $200, and I'm in the Middle East. Then this is like one of the most expensive tickets for the distance I flew. I found a flight going from Cyprus to Prague, so I'm where I want to be. You know, I finally made it to Prague. I get to see Prague, spend a few days there, and I got like an 8-hour layover in Bucharest, Romania. So that 8 hours, I was just I hopped in an Uber. They have Uber there. Buzzed around town, walked all over, tried to find postcards, and you know, do silly things like that for my family. So I think that ticket was like 100, maybe, man, at most it was 130, but I think it was less than that. So I'm up to 300 here, in that range, yeah. So I was in Prague for a few days. That's another video. That's another story. And I hang out there, and then I have a flight to Shanghai via Moscow. I couldn't get a visa for Moscow. That's another process. I love Russian people are really neat, you know, and I wish I could have hung out there. But I just had a short layover, like an hour. I had to run from my plane. It was snowing in Moscow, to the next plane, then on to Shanghai. And I think that ticket was like $220 or something like that from Prague to Shanghai via Moscow. I wish I could have stayed. If I had more time, I could have got a visa and just broke up that flight and hung out in Moscow for a few days, but I didn't have that opportunity. And then I was in Shanghai for a few days. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother story. Good night. If you guys want to know anything about any of these places, or you have any comments or anything like that, please leave me questions. Please follow me. I'm going to try to keep making videos. It's kind of fun, so I want to keep doing it and get better at it. And then the flight to SeaTac, back to SFO via Shanghai was like $250. So it's like $250, and $300. So it's like maybe $900, or $800. All the way around the world, something like that, give or take. I'm sure I forgot stuff, but I just wanted to tell you how I did it. Was that Skyscanner is I would break down all those cities into one-way flights. I would fly to one place, and then I would just on paper on the computer get myself somewhere. Then look like, okay, how much can I get a flight from this city to here, or this area? So it was a broad spectrum. I was just trying to shoot into areas. So I'll try to make another video. Thanks. Please help me out. I need suggestions on how to make these videos and what you guys want to know and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks. Hope you get to travel. Bye.